a fan of survival games, well, stay tuned as this year has seen some of the best titles I've ever seen. So coming up, I'll be giving you my top 60 new and upcoming survival games for 2024. Some you might already know, but they've received some crazy cool updates, as well as some upcoming games with actual 2024 release dates. So let's begin. My first entry at number 16 is the Forever Winter. It's coming out very soon, and it's a co-op tactical survival horror shooter set in this post-apocalyptic dystopian war. And I mean war. The dev CEO and creative director is Miles Williams, who worked on both Killzone and Mass Effect, which has got me really hyped here. The basic concept of the game is this: you're a scavenger trying to make ends meet, or are caught in this war between two gigantic, hyper-advanced military superpowers, which sounds wild. Your mission here is to go out into this hellscape of a war zone, scavenge, loot, and then try and make it out in one piece. It's a very interesting concept for a game, right? I mean, two massive armies fighting that you're not even a part of, and you're just caught in the middle here. It's a survival extraction shooter though, but you won't be facing other players, but rather the environment in either solo or with friends. So if you're a fan of extraction shooters and want something more brutal, dark, and intense, check out the Forever Winter today. On a lighter note, coming in at number 15 is DUCKSIDE. Think of Rust or Daisy, except yeah, you're a duck. DUCKSIDE is a survival game where you'll be facing other players as well as doing some crafting and base building, and it also doesn't duck around with the weapons either. The crafting looks pretty decent too, and the combat, well, I mean, you can fly, you're a duck. You can't do that in Rust. The graphics look crisp here, and it just looks like a game where you're bound to have a good time with friends. I mean, it's got co-op, making it a game that might entice a group of you and your friends to team up and take on other feathered foes. It's coming out like in a few days too, so maybe add DUCKSIDE to your wishlist today. To me, it just looks like an overall fun vibe. And vibe rhymes with subscribe, which I recommend you do if you want to see more of my videos coming to you weekly. The next entry at number 14 is V Rising. And yes, it's been covered before here, but if we're looking at one of the best open world survival crafting games to come out this year, you can't go wrong in V Rising. You awaken after 100 years of slumber, weakened and thirsty for blood. Because, well, you're a vampire. Where some survival games focus more on the crafting and building aspect, V Rising does that really well, but it's also the combat that wins it over for me here. Sure, you've got to craft some items and build your very own epic castle here, but you also need to pillage villages, raid bandit camps, and take down some pretty intense supernatural beasts. Since its release, it's received a ton of updates, and it's even got 6 DLC packs. But honestly, V Rising is such a polished game that you really need to check it out if you haven't already. My next entry at number 13 is Eden Crafters. This game is very similar to the Planet Crafter, but it's got more factory building elements to it. It's a co-op open world game where you'll be embarking on a journey of survival, crafting, and automation, hoping to turn a hostile planet into a habitable haven for humanity. You'll have to choose your planets, each coming with different challenges such as radioactive areas or giant waves caused by a nearby moon. But in order to do that, you'll need to automate resource gathering, which will lead you to building massive factories or environmental transformation systems. It's gunning for an October release date, but if you're looking for a mix of Satisfactory and the Planet Crafter, then maybe add Eden Crafters to your wishlist today, or even check out their demo on the Steam page. Next up at number 12 is Soulmask. This game came out of nowhere, but people are loving it, as it's sitting at a mostly positive rating on Steam. You awake on this fateful day as the last survivor of your tribe and blessed or cursed with a mysterious mask, where you'll be fighting for survival in this beautiful big open world. There's so much going on here. You start with the basics of collecting resources and food to build a shelter, but eventually you'll need to create your own tribe and you'll need to delegate work to automate production. You can choose either PvE or PvP play styles, solo or co-op, but if you enjoy games like Ark or Conan Exiles and you're looking for a game with some unique qualities, I highly recommend checking out Soulmask today. Next up at number 11 is Abiotic Factor. Picture Half-Life, except it's a survival game for up to 6 players. Yeah, so as you can see, it's got a similar look and feel to Half-Life, plus you'll be taking down zombies, aliens, mutants, and even more in an underground mysterious facility here, all in glorious low-res graphics. But hey, you'll need to escape, and to do this, you'll need to craft and cook some useful items and build up your base, and then take down some of those nasty enemies. Plus it adds some skill elements like you'd see in Project Zomboid, for example, that can be increased over time to help you survive. And with the Crush Depth update out already that brought many new features, mechanics, optimizations, and bug fixes, as well as the full 1.0 release aimed for winter this year, Abiotic Factor is a game not to be missed, especially with friends. At number 10, my next entry is Enshrouded. Again, it's another popular title and it came out earlier this year, so it's not totally new, but they've added some more content that you may have missed. Enshrouded is a survival action role-playing game set in this massive open world called Embervale. It's got the usual crafting and base building elements you're used to, but it's also got some really cool aspects that I really enjoyed. For starters, it's got this voxel building system that allows for pure base building creative freedom. It's also got a heavy RPG focus where you need to go off and do various quests in this massive open world that just looks incredible. I love just staring at it. And then since its release, they've added a bunch more content, including options to make it more of a challenge. I know a lot of people said it was a bit too easy. So if you're a fan of Valheim or you're on the fence about Enshrouded, maybe give it another look today as yeah, it looks really good now. Next up at number 9 is Nightingale. Even though it received some mixed reviews on release, I'm putting it here as since then they've added in a big update and added in tons of content and gameplay improvements. In the game, you are stranded beyond our world, cut off by the sudden collapse of the arcane portal network. This catastrophic event has left you and countless others fighting to survive in a labyrinth of mysterious and perilous realms. And you'll need to search for a way back to the last haven of humanity called Nightingale. So yeah, it's an open world survival crafting game, but it's also set in this fantasy universe that honestly looks incredible. People compare it to Enshrouded, but Nightingale focuses a lot more on the crafting systems as well as exploration. So now with its new content, I'd recommend checking it out as people are really enjoying it. My next entry at number 8 is Pacific Drive. Here you'll need to navigate a treacherous, anomaly-filled world, mostly by using a heavily modified station wagon to explore the ever-changing landscape, repair damage, and gather resources in order to survive. As you venture deeper into the wilderness, you must adapt to environmental hazards like storms, radiations, and mysterious creatures, all while uncovering the dark secrets behind a government research disaster gone wrong. For me, I just really enjoy its unique blend of survival mechanics and vehicle customization, as your car acts as both a lifeline and a customizable base, allowing for a more immersive survival experience here. So if you want a fresh take on the survival genre and enjoy the mobile base kind of vibe, I highly recommend checking out Pacific Drive today. And now we're halfway through the list, but don't worry as the second half is filled with some of my favorites. Up next at number 7 is Sons of the Forest. It's really popular and it's easy to see why. It's a survival horror game where you find yourself stranded on this remote, mysterious island filled with cannibals and mutants and other proper creepy stuff. As you explore dense forests, dark caves, and abandoned structures, your main goal here is to survive by gathering resources, crafting weapons, and building shelters. The island's dynamic weather and day-night cycle really make it more of a challenge, as you must fend off increasingly hostile threats, all while uncovering the secrets of the island. The crafting and base building are crucial here, and the game gives you the freedom of how you want to approach your survival, whether it's focusing on combat, exploration, or resource management. The terrifying atmosphere keeps you on edge, while these realistic graphics and physics really make every encounter feel immersive. So check out Sons of the Forest if you enjoy survival horror games, because damn, this one is a good one. Up next at number 6, I've put down Once Human. And yes, it's got some mixed reviews, but I still think it should be on this list because, well, it's free. Once Human is a post-apocalyptic survival game set in a world overtaken by mysterious cosmic forces. As you step into this desolate landscape, you'll be needing to gather resources, craft weapons, and build shelters to survive against mutated creatures and environmental threats. The world here is filled with dangerous anomalies and hostile enemies, and your objective here is to explore, adapt, and push back against the cosmic invasion, all while uncovering the truth behind the world's collapse. And yeah, since its released, it has received a ton of updates, all adding to its tense, immersive world. So if you're looking for something that's a blend of games like Fallout 76, The Division, and Control, maybe check out Once Human today. Up next at number 5, a game many people have been waiting for, it's Frostpunk 2. It came out this week with some massive expectations as the first one was incredible. as this society survival city builder has you develop, expand, and advance your city in order to survive. It's set 30 years after this apocalyptic blizzard that ravaged Earth, and you face not only the perils of the never-ending winter, but also the powerful factions that watch your every step. So instead of you just needing to survive here, you're in charge of a whole city. So you'll need resources like coal and oil, just like the citizens here that will require food and warmth. It's a never-ending cycle of supply and demand. It's on a much grander scale compared to the original, focusing now on districts and policies to govern your city, which might put some people off, but I still recommend checking out Frostpunk 2 today. I'm so excited to see how it pans out. Next on the list at number 4, we have the altars. And yes, I've mentioned it before, but it's so interesting I can't look away. This is an emotional sci-fi survival game, and it has you assume control of Nightingale, a space miner who must create alternate versions of himself in order to survive on this inhospitable planet. You pilot this massive wheel-shaped base along the planet's surface in order to stay away from the sun that will straight up one-shot you due to its lethal radiation. So you'll need to explore the planet and mine for resources and materials, which will be essential for maintaining and expanding the base. But the twist here is that you need to create altars, which are the alternate versions of yourself, and they have their own unique skill sets, lifestyles, and personalities. It's a very interesting game. It's got a great concept here, and I can't wait to see how it turns out later this year. Next up at number 3, we've got Streets of Rogue 2. While all these other games go for these intense 3D visuals, this game comes with these charming pixelated graphics instead, but don't let that fool you. Unlike the original, the game is now set in this vast, randomly generated open world and now includes deeper RPG elements. In the game, you'll need to fight, sneak, hack, farm, build, steal, or talk your way to power as you try to topple a corrupt president in countless possible ways, either solo or with friends. Now, I loved the first game. It had tons of charm, humor, and just so much random funny bits that it was so hard to put down. You'll choose from a variety of characters like the soldier, hacker, thief, and many others as you set off causing as much mayhem wherever you go. So if you want some chaotic fun on your own or with friends, definitely add Streets of Rogue 2 to your wishlist today or try out the original. It's so much fun. Coming in at number 2, another favorite of mine, the Planet Crafter. This is a space survival and terraforming game. We are tasked with transforming a barren, hostile planet into one that's a bit more habitable. You'll start with limited resources and you must explore this planet, gather materials, craft equipment, and then build bases to sustain your survival. As you progress, you'll unlock technology that allows you to alter the planet's atmosphere, temperature, and ecosystems, gradually turning it into a lush, life-supporting world. Now, I won't lie, I'm playing this now and I'm still addicted to terraforming this planet. And I just love all the resource management that comes with it. I mean, man, the satisfaction of just seeing this planet evolve from a desolate wasteland into a thriving ecosystem, so satisfying. The crafting and base building are central to your progression, and it does it so well, while the sense of exploration in a vast open world also gives you this freedom to shape your own path. It's also so relaxing. I love the music, and now with that rover update out and the upcoming DLC, this game might just be my favorite game of the year. And then last but not least, coming in at number 1, I've got S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 Hearts of Chernobyl. This is the sequel to the award-winning franchise, which is set to deliver a unique action experience of survival in this post-apocalyptic Chernobyl exclusion zone. And man, this game looks so intense. It's essentially an immersive survival horror game where you'll need to explore the deadly radioactive wasteland. You'll face deadly mutants, hostile factions, and bizarre anomalies, all while scavenging for survival to stay alive. Like the original, the game combines intense combat, survival mechanics, and deep storytelling as you uncover the dark secrets of the zone and navigate its dynamic, unpredictable environment. And damn, how good are these graphics? It's using the new Unreal 5 engine, and the devs are saying that the multiplayer support is coming too. So if you love survival horror games, you cannot miss S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. It just looks incredible. Sure, what a list. What did you think about it? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It'll warm my heart, and if you leave a comment, it'll warm my soul. And if you want to see more great lists like this one, perhaps subscribe so you can warm up my whole body. Other than that, it's Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, and as always, don't stop gaming.